Hey guys, Crystal Thompson here for Studio Katia. I'm so excited. We are creating our own backgrounds, doing some very fall elegant colors. We're going to begin by using the iridescent bubbles for our embellishment, then chunky confetti glitter for our DIY paste, and then we're going to be using the happy stamp set. We're going to be using Happy Fall. We're going to be using just those little guys, and then I have stamped the Kind Bouquet, and I have stamped this on watercolor paper, and I've watercolored these. You're also going to be needing a white piece of cardstock and two colors of brown, which I'm using soft suede and Sahara sand from Stampin' Up. You're going to need a little spatula, some clear glue, a little plate for the mixing, and an ink blender. So let's get started. We are going to begin by using purple tape, which is kind of like a very unsticky washi tape. We're going to place a couple strips and we're going to stick the cardstock right down to our surface. If you're using a surface that you cannot clean off, I suggest using a piece of white print paper to cover your background and anything that you don't want some ink on. Next, we're going to come in with the lightest of our browns. In this case is the Sahara sand, and we are going to grab our ink blender and we're going to do a very rough, very quick ink blending. And so as you can see, I'm not covering everything entirely, and the reason why is that I want some gradients. We're going to come in with a darker color in just a minute, and what it's going to do is going to create a beautiful gradient and very pretty blending. And honestly, you won't be seeing much of this background, but it's totally going to make everything nice and match. So we're going to come in with our darkest color, which is that crumb cake, which is just a darker chocolate brown. And we're going to be doing the tops and bottoms and blending down to the middle. And as you can see, it is not absolutely perfect. There's not a ton of color, which is just fine. We're going to remove our blended cardstock from the surface, and I'm going to come in with a little ceramic plate, and what we're going to do is we're going to create our DIY paste. So right now there's paste being used for everything, stencils and creating from mass projects, which is what we're doing here. However, I do not want to go buy more products, so I'm simply going to use the chunky glitter and some of the clear glue to create a paste. Now we're going to add this paste directly over parts of our ink blending. So again, this is why it did not need to be perfect, because we are going to cover it with our DIY paste. So as you can see, we're just going to grab that with our little spatula. If you don't have a spatula, you can use a plastic spoon or knife and it'll work just fine. So we're honestly just going to do half of the cardstock kind of cornered, and we're going to really focus on adding the glitter to the bottom part of the card base so it looks like it's an ombre gradient up. If you find that your glitter is kind of drying up, add a little bit more of glue and just finish grabbing all that chunky glitter, and again kind of focusing right down at the bottom so it looks like a confetti. So now we're going to remove our masking from the washi tape or the purple tape, and look how fun and clean. I think this would be a perfect wedding card. But we are really going to focus on a DIY fall background. Okay, now that's ready to go. It's going to dry super, super quick because this is glue for crafting. So now we're going to come in with our stamp sets. We're going to stamp the Happy from the Happy stamp set. We're going to be using that Sahara sand, which is that darkest of inks. We're going to come in with the Happy, and seriously, we're just going to stamp that in one of the lighter gradients because it is the same color that we were using to blend with. So it's going to be nice and pretty. Then we're going to come in with our Kind Bouquet, and as I said, I had stamped this on watercolor cardstock, and then I colored these with watercolor. And I love to do this on my spare time. These are actually inspired by the Joseph's Coat roses. If you have some time, go check that out. They're really pretty, and they actually do follow this color coordination. So we're going to grab a piece of the crumb cake cardstock, and this is cardstock that matches the ink, and we have heat embossed fall, and I'm going to hold that down with just some clear adhesive. I am going to end up cutting the end of that fall piece so I can put it in an envelope. I'm going to come in with my Studio Katia glue and my iridescent bubbles, and we're just going to use a couple of these. So I'm going to grab them and place them directly onto my card. The Studio Katia glue does dry clear, so you will not be seeing some of the white glue that you can see here. My next photo will show you how it dries clear. And that does it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this quick tutorial. This is Crystal Thompson for Studio Katia. Have an amazing day.